Hi everyone, this is Contrary bringing you another indie game Let's Play. This one is another murder mystery detective game. I guess I know what I like. This one is Rainswept. We're back in time to 1996. Oh, okay. This is pretty. I'm just gonna let this play out. This is an intriguing start so far. I'm really liking this art. Okay, we're at the crime scene. Alright, I'm here. Yes, I am. Time to see what this is all about. Okay, A and D to move, shift to run, and keypad to interact. Okay. Oh, hold on, what's at the car? There's something here. So, yep. That's my car. Okay. What's here? They've been here a while, it looks like. The other police, you mean? Okay. Terrible. What? I said terrible, terrible business, all this. Pa, it was only a matter of time, everyone knows that. I know, still, they were so young. They? I only saw one guy. Oh, was it a murder-suicide? Young and stupid, you mean? The stories I've heard. I guess you're right, it was just a matter of time. What? It was a matter of time. It's really coming down today. We should get back home. A few more minutes, I want to see what happens. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna catch a cold, that's all. Who's over here? More police? Now, what's he up to? I don't know, ask him. Oh, I can't? Okay. Ma'am, please, you need to back away a little. What's happened here? A murder. Johnny, get under the umbrella. Granny, I want to leave. Can I go back to the shop? Could see this coming a mile away. Ma'am, please. Granny, please. All right, Johnny, let's go. There's no point standing here now. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris is responsible, I'm so sure. It's hard to disagree, but let's not speculate. Detective Anderson, right? The chief is inside. They've been waiting for you. You need to control the crowd, officer. You need to push the crowd further from the scene, officer. What? You'll need to speak up. I can't hear you over the rain. The crowd, handle them. There could be evidence out here. Oh yes, I'm trying. Hey Williams, what the hell are you doing? I'm losing track of who's saying what here. Trying to prop up this tape, sir. It won't stay. We'll get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir. Richard! Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, Detective. Thing is, we're short of manpower here. We weren't prepared for this kind of thing. First time in decades. And to top it off, this rain out of nowhere. Just get the crowd under control. I'm heading inside. Ooh, touchy. Yes, Detective. Don't worry. Williams! Okay. You seem a bit crotchety. That's the way inside. Yeah, can I... Oh, right, I need to use it. I wonder why Chief sent me all the way to Pineview for this case. Only one way to find out. Should I go in? Yes, I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I think I've looked at everything. Go in. No point hanging around out here. Oh. Oh God. My thoughts exactly. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. If you insist. What's up, Sheriff? Not very professional. I hope they know what they're doing. Oh, was I not talking to him? Is this the sheriff? Michael? Huh? Oh, what? Detective, are you okay? I think so, yeah. I just got a little dizzy for a second. Guess I'm just a little tired after the long drive here. Detective Anderson, right? The head office called in to say that you'd be joining us here in this investigation. I'm Sheriff Harris, and this is Lieutenant Watt. We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we'll need it. This case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? The victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head, looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, single bullet wound to the abdomen. The victims lived together, were unmarried. Any signs of an intruder, time of death, the weapon, any witnesses? Any witnesses? Just the next door neighbour who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We can interview him shortly. But obviously there was 2 shots. So, any sign of an intruder? No signs of forced entry. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. An officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. There are no footprints outside that window. Except the officer's. He was careful. No signs of struggle or marks on the bodies either. Time of death? According to the next door neighbour, a single gunshot was heard around 12:15 hours. I'm not sure how you read that in 24-hour time. 0015? 0015? I don't know. It's 12:15 anyway. We received the call at about 12:20 hours, and we were here in another 5 minutes. We found them dead upon arrival and confirmed the timing. Weapon? What do we know about the weapon? Both shots were fired from a, whatever that is, caliber pistol. The ballistics report will let us know more. I've exhausted all of my options. Honestly speaking, Detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taken place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Diane was shot at point-blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. He then went ahead and shot himself as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. Let's stay on that good side for the minute. It's obviously a case of murder-suicide, Detective. So everything's already figured out then. If that was sarcasm, I'll ignore it, but yes, more or less. Are you suggesting there was domestic violence involved? It would seem so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So, rumours. You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not sure that... And they were never really able to fit into this town. They were new here, moved in about 6 months ago. So how did the neighbours know anything about them then? Never got out much, didn't make any friends. We don't need to analyse the obvious, Detective. That would only be inefficient. Officer Blunt will assist you through the course of your work here. Hello, Detective. And one more thing. We're looking to wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it out if it can be helped. We have an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is rather bad timing. So there's no need to go around complicating things, alright? Just get me a story that works and we can close this case quickly. That's not how this works. Yeah, sure, can't wait to wrap this case up. Oh yeah, alright then, I'll see you soon, goodbye. Okay then. Anyway, have a look around the room if you'd like, come and talk to me when you're done. Okay then. So who are you? Hey, Detective. Yeah, hey. Need any help? What's the plan? Have a look around the room. Once you're done, talk to Lieutenant Watts. So that's that guy on the left, I'm assuming. Who are you, though? You just appeared out of nowhere. Okay. Let's check this out. Gunshot to the stomach. Yeah. The damage and the residue would suggest the shot was taken at point-blank range. That rules out the possibility of her being shot from the open window. She would have been in line of sight from the outside, though. There's no mistaking it. The perpetrator would have to be inside the house to cause this kind of wound. Whether that was Chris or someone else, it's hard to say at the moment. Okay. What's that? A piece of paper? Oh no, that's the gun. What's the yellow thing on the floor, though? It looks pretty old. It can hold 7 rounds. There were 4 rounds still in here. That means 3 rounds were fired from this gun at some point of time. If 2 were fired last night, where's the 3rd? Was it used on some other day? The gun belonged to Chris, according to Lieutenant Watts. Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the ones to use it. Is there anyone else that could have known where they kept their gun? From Pineview, I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could it be someone they were comfortable with or trusted? No one I can think of. Wait, that was something else up there. Oh no, that was talking to her again. Oh! Pressing the S button makes him do a little dance. That's a really inappropriate time to be dancing like that. Okay. Bullet wound to the head. The skull is badly damaged. Most of the side has been blown off. His body position and the way he fell would indicate that he was sitting sideways on the chair, facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates that he was shot from the side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues here, though. He could have been shot from that window at the moment it's shut. Must get it checked for fingerprints and footprints outside. The thing is, though, we saw him shoot himself in the head. So... could someone have entered and left through here? We should have the fingerprint results in a couple of days, Detective. Don't forget, there aren't any footprints outside. If someone shot him from outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense. That way, the killer wouldn't need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Gunpowder residue on his right hand. Hard to disagree with the lieutenant here. This is strong evidence for the victim shooting himself. Unless it was made to look that way. The chair's fallen on its back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. Is that the glass of wine we're investigating? Red wine. It looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from this glass. It would seem that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane. Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. A glass of wine was knocked over. This looks like wine, but there seems to be blood in here as well. How did blood splatter in this direction? It doesn't make sense. Officer Blunt, I think there's been more than 2 gunshots that we're seeing here. How can that be, though? There's only 2 bodies. I think that's everything in the room. Oh, wait. Was that just for her? No, that's another one. What's that for? Come back here. There we go. Oh, that's them. Okay. We already looked at them. Shall we proceed? Yeah... Wait, which one is highlighted? Yes? Yes, I'm done. Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. The rain has finally let up. What are we up to here? Is that a coffee pot? Kettle? What is she holding? Oh, right, it is a coffee pot. Right, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right here, next door. Coffee detective? Sure. You can ask him any questions you may have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis. Can you tell me everything that you saw or heard during last night's events? Well, see, I'd headed off to bed at around 11 p.m. as I usually do, after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know. Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 a.m. I'd say, I was woken up by a loud bang. I ran to my bedroom window that looked straight down at their place. And what did you see? Nothing. Their kitchen lights were on, but that's about it. I went to my phone and called Lieutenant Watts here straight away. How long did it take you to get to the window? Did you see anyone at all on the street? Yeah, you said you only heard 1 gunshot. Yes, the whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good, so if there'd been more, I didn't hear 'em. Alright. So how long did it take you to get to the window, once you heard the shot? About a couple of seconds, detective, not more than 5, I'd say. Nearly fell out of my bed when I heard the shot, so you might say I was halfway there already. Did you see anyone else at all on the street? Anything unusual? No, detective. Everything was exactly the same as always. Alright. Any more questions? Did they have many visitors? Friends, etc.? No. No, not at all, in fact. In all this time, I only maybe saw Jack coming over to fix their car, and Father Smith came over a couple of times when they'd newly moved in. A year back, almost. Nah, people rarely ever visited 'em because they mostly kept to themselves, see? Never made any friends here. But sometimes folks don't like those kinds either, so I can't really say. Know what I mean? No, please elaborate. You won't find anyone crying over their deaths here. Nobody really knew 'em. They never got out much. So do you live alone, Mr. Willis? Yes, I do. Now got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked over a couple of whiskies. Know what I mean? Heh. Yeah, we get it. You're drunk. Can anyone confirm your whereabouts? No, I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? It's procedure, Mr. Witt. I know Mr. Willis, he's cool. We'll need to have a talk later, Lieutenant. Talk? About what? Just later, okay? You're ignoring me. Annoying me, I mean. Okay, Sherlock, whatever you say, Holmes. Any other information you'd like to share, Mr. Willis? I don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diane. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple of times, usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocked me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before, but a couple of times I was up a little later. One night, about a month ago, I heard pretty bad things. There was some loud sounds, stuff being flung around and such, see? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then it quietened down all of a sudden. We never received any calls for domestic violence, but people have often talked the stories of this kind. Can you remember when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, hey, quiet down there! My cat is complaining, so sorry about that. Well, I was up late writing an important letter. I think it must have been somewhere around the 1st to the 3rd last month. 1st to the 3rd September. Alright, anything else? No, that's all I know about this. Right, thanks for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem, and thanks for the coffee. I think I'm going to leave it here. I'll continue this next time. Thanks everyone. Bye.